Well, fellas, interesting night. 2:06. We had a rumble like an earthquake. Lasted for basically 10 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is basically 5 seconds, roughly. And first of all, reports came in thinking maybe a earthquake 1.2 out of Mount Compass. Now they're saying it was like 1.4. Centred at Morford Vale, which is basically over there somewhere, so it wasn't too far away. But there were basically about 4 rumbles the night. Then they thought it might be thunder. We did have some thunder and some rain, but this felt like a truck going up the road, like we've had in earthquakes in the past sort of thing. And about a decade ago, I think our distant mountain range went up about 4 centimetres in height. Just suddenly just went whoom up 4 centimetres, and that gave us a bit of a shock. Didn't know the old Donald had dropped a couple of test gravity bombs just to see if he could increase the yield sort of from 325 kilotons all the way up to megaton tonnage or something, I don't know, but though it definitely made the paper, the online advertiser, and hopefully tonight we might find out that it was like a clandestine underground meth lab that blew up or something, or something to do with the fireworks for the Royal Show or something. They were just setting them up for the coming week and went off or something, I don't know, but it was rather strange. I mean, if it actually rocks the earth, so you can feel it like a rumble, that surely is by definition an earthquake. It's a bit like this thing, if you see fungus on a root, it's a fungus root, therefore it's a mycorrhizae sort of thing, by definition. So if we actually felt it as a rumble in the earth, it's an earthquake. Whether it's produced naturally or artificially, it should still be recorded as an earthquake, surely. But anyway, we had a bit of rain overnight and things are starting to become clearer. This one, this one got fried, but I've noticed that the moss here looks very similar to when we were playing around with some copper earlier on in the season, sort of thing. And I'm thinking, well, is there some? We do know that copper does react with nitrogen. It's still smelling of ammonia. You can still see bubbles down there. So, but the water's starting to get a little bit of a tint. But this seems to be settling down more to be in line with the look of this one. And these plants are still hanging on, and they're still green. And this one with only a little bit of amine that didn't really cause a great reaction, didn't cause that great amount of presumably carbon dioxide. Yeah, well, I think we tested it with a match, didn't we, to come off. Didn't give up, so there's still a lot of that stuff in the soil. Whereas this one, we drove most of it off, and it's a lot better. And we're thinking whether we can actually switch from aluminium to copper and see if there is a different. The reason I'm saying this, because this one with the plain chalk, 50-50 chalk and newspaper cellulose, it seems to be the plants are they got this weird look, but you can see that there's new leaf coming up and it's green. So I'm thinking, well, and it's on the new growth, you see, but all the old leaves are sort of going yellow a bit, and I'm thinking, well, you think, okay, so it's a mobile element going from the old leaves to the new. Could it be nitrogen? And I'm thinking, well, if we have all this problem with copper and things like that, and we know that copper can react with nitrogen, it can also be fixed into the chalk, I'm thinking it's probably more likely to be something a lot simpler than we think. What about just plain magnesium? Is it, there's all this chalk, there's a lot of calcium there, very little magnesium, whereas the plants are still quite green. That's from Portland cement, which is made from calcium magnesium carbonate, and it's turned into the calcium magnesium oxide. So there's a lot of magnesium there, and these plants don't seem to be struggling with the change of the green sort of thing. So I'm thinking, well, we could test this. Why don't we just take some Epsom salt, which are quite acidic, by the way, and mix it with the chalk and set up another one. And if we put some new plants in and they don't have this sort of pullback with the colour, with the concomitant sort of reddening or hidden reddening behind the plant, that will give us a better indication to what's going on, and also why you think calcium and chalk is so deadly to carnivorous plants is the fact that, and why southern Abertland and Abertland in general has the most carnivorous plants in the world, but we have these extensive, giant shield-side areas of serpentine. Of course, serpentine is very rich in magnesium. So it could be, and also we've had the largest copper mine that's ever existed on the planet down here. So, so I thought, well, you know, I've gone right to my end of my bag, and that's all I've got. So I decided, well, why don't I just one part of newspaper say put in the chalk and have an equal amount of magnesium, and if we're going to get any strike, at least it will be an indicative experiment. We probably won't have enough to put in a full-size pot, but a medium-sized pot, hopefully. So we'll give it a go. Anyway, I'll just set the tripod off, and we'll have a run and see what happens. You never know, we might find there is actual reaction with that after we've settled it in. You know, the magnesium will actually bond to the chalk and change its nature. Maybe we'll get that look we get when we add the aluminium. Maybe we'll get a lot of carbon dioxide coming off. I don't know, because if I can remember rightly, I'll show you in the next video anyway. Okay.